Estudiantes de octavo grado, el día de hoy vamos a ver lo que es la lesson 12.6 that is going to talk about permutations and combinations, okay? But first, to introduce it in permutations and combinations, we need to see a concept that is really important that we understand because it's going to help us to do the permutations and combinations, okay? In this case, the key concept that we are going to see first is going to be multiplication counting principle, okay? In this case, what do you need to do is that if you have, in this case, if there are m ways to make a selection, a first selection, and also you have n ways to make a second selection, that means that the total of selection that you are going to have is going to be the multiplication of the two options that you have. The first selection that is m and the second selection that is n, okay? In this case, it's really easy to understand. And I'm going to show you that with the problem number 1, using the multiplication counting principle. They say in this case, you're having a shopping, you're in a mall, okay? And say, use the diagram below, that is this one, to show how many ways are there to get from the first floor to the third floor using only escalators, okay? It's really easy, escalators. We are going to use the escalator, that is this, or this, or this, or this, or this. That means, in this case, that in the first floor, you are going to have 2 options, okay? But in the second one, you are going to have 3. That is going to be, you can say that that is going to be equal to m, and that is going to be equal to n, okay? And it's really easy. What do you need to do? Just you need to multiply m times n. In this case, that is going to be 2 times 3 equal to 6, okay? That's the multiplication counting principle, okay? It's really easy. That means that you're going to have 6 ways to use escalators to get to the third floor, okay? Now we are going to do the next example, example number 2. In the problem number 2, we need to find permutations, but in this case, we need to understand first what means permutation. It's really important that you understand the concept because permutations and combinations are a little similar, but also are different, okay? First, you need to know that permutation, in this case, is an arrangement of objects in a specific order. In this case, for example, I'm going to organize 3 letters, okay? A, B, and C. These 3 letters that I already have here. A, B, and C. And I can arrange them in different orders. I can put it like A, B, C, like the first one. Then just switch the position of B and C in the second one. Then you can start with B, putting AC, and then just switch the position of AC. This is another order. Then you can start with C, putting AB, and then just switch the position of BA, okay? It's really easy. And if you see, in this case, combining 3 letters, you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 possible permutations or combinations that you are going to use. In this case, we are going to call it permutation because it's the word that we are going to use, okay? In the problem number 2, say, finding permutations, and say, how many different variance orders can you have with 9 players? It's really easy. You are going to have first the player number 9. Then you have 8 options, okay? Then you are going to have 7 options. Then you are going to have 6 options more. That is the next player, next player, next player. That is going to be 5, it's going to be 4, it's going to be 3, and it's going to be 1. And that combination of order is the one that is going to give us, in this case, the total of permutations that you can have. It's the same here. Look, it's 3 letters. You have 3 times 2 times 1. 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is 6. That number 6 is my number of permutation that I have here. It's going to be here the same. You have 9 players. You need to multiply 9, then times 8 positions, times 7 positions, 6 positions, 5 positions, 4 positions, 3 positions, 2 positions, I'm missing here, sorry, and 1 position. And the multiplication of all these positions is going to give us the total permutation that you can have. That in this case is going to be equal to 362,880. Okay? That's going to be the total combination that we are going to call permutations in this case because you are going to see that the combinations are a little different, okay? At that thing that we are looking right now, we call factoring. That means that you can put something like that, n factor, knowing that n is the value of 9, okay? And you will see it later, okay? Now we are going to do the next example, example number 3. Now we are going to see the concept of permutation notation that is really important for us, okay? In this concept, in this case, the key concept is going to be permutation notation that is equal to n, PR equal to n factorial. We already learned before that when you have a permutation, it's going to be the actions multiplied until get 1, and it's going to be divided in n minus r. That in this case is a little special because in this case that expression expresses that or represent that the number of permutations n, in this case, is going to be arranged r in r at a time, okay? What means that you are going to have the total options that you have, but just you are to allow some actions. For example, in the problem 3, you are going to understand that concept because it's really easy, okay? In the problem number 3, it said using permutation notation, and the instructions is about music. Say, a band has 7 new sounds. I already get information. Remember to put the data because it's going to be really helpful for us. And say, and they want to put 5 of them on a demo CD. 5 of them they want to put in a CD demo, okay? How many arrangements of 5 songs, in this case, are possible that you can do? Having that options, okay? I'm going to put my formula, that you already know what is the formula, N, P, and R, okay? And you know that it's going to be n factorial divided in n minus r, and also factorial, okay? That's really easy. You just need to identify what is going to be each of the variables in this case. N is going to be the total option that you have, that is 7, okay? And in this case, the restriction that you have, or the limit that you want to have, is 5. That means the 5 is going to be equal to r, okay? And with that information, it's really easy to solve it because in this case, you are going to have the formula that is going to be n equal to 7 and r equal to 5, okay? And if you substitute the values, you are going to have in this case that the permutation is going to be n, that is 7 factorial divided in this case 7 minus 5, because you are going to organize 5 songs factorial, okay? What means that? Means that you're going to have p equal to 7. Remember that it's multiplying until 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you are going to have here 7 minus 5 is 2, 2 factorial is 2, and 1. Okay? That's the factorial. If you see the value that you already have in the numerator and the denominator, you can eliminate it. You have that number 2 with that number 2, and that number 1 with that number 1. Okay? That means that just you need to multiply, in this case, 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. And that is going to give us a value of 2,520 weights that you can organize, okay? That's the weights, or that's the possible way that you can organize all those 5 songs that you already have. You can put it in 2,520 ways, the order of the songs, okay? So that's really easy. You just need to apply the formula, and you are going to identify what do you need to do, okay? Now we are going to pass to the next problem, the problem number 4. In the last example, in the problem number 4 that we are going to do right now, we are going to do a difference. We are going to make a combination, and just need to know that combination is a selection of objects without regard to order, okay? That's really important. Why? Because in this case, the order doesn't matter. I'm going to do again the combination of the 3 letters. I'm going to combine A, B, and C. You know that you can combine also in A, C, B. Then I'm going to start with B, A, C, and then I'm going to combine this. I'm going to switch the position of this. It's going to be C, A, okay? Then I'm going to start with C, A, B, and then it's going to be C. Switch the position of these two, it's going to be B, A, okay? That's all the combination. But in this case, something that is really important is that if you already have A, B, C, and all the other ones, you have A, B, C, 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 just in different position, just you are going to count just one. Because the order that you already have in this case, it doesn't matter. If you have the same 3 letters in all the combinations, it's going to be the same 2 letters in all the combinations. That's the difference with the combinations. It's why we have that formula. That is going to be N, that is the total options, C, that means combination in this case, and R, that is going to be the restriction or the number limit that you are going to have, is going to be equal to N factorial that is the multiplication of all the options, divided in the limit that you already have, factorial, and also we are going to add the total options minus the limit that you have, factorial. I'm going to do the example because it's going to be really easy to understand for you doing the example, okay? In this case, you're having the problem number for that information. 20 people report for jury duty. How many different 12 persons jury can be chosen? Okay, it's really interesting. That means that the total number of options that you're going to have is going to be equal to 20, okay? But the restriction of the limit is going to be equal to 12. That is going to represent the variable r, okay? Using that information, we are going to apply the formula. You are going to have NCR equal to n factorial divided in r factorial n minus r factorial, okay? You need to know that the formula is going to be, in this case, 20c 12 equal to n factorial, that is going to be 20 factorial, okay? Divided in the restriction, that is 12 factorial, multiplied by n, that is 20 minus 12 factorial, okay? In this case, you know that you're going to have a in this part because 20 minus 12 is going to be a. That means that you're going to have this, okay? 20 factorial divided, in this case, in 12 factorial, and also divided in a factorial, okay? That's really important to understand, okay? If you see that, for example, you have 20 factorial and 12 factorial, you can eliminate the factorial of 12 values up here. That means that you're going to have, in this case, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, and you're going to eliminate all the other ones that not are 12, okay? That means that you're going to have something like that. It's going to be 20 times 19 times, in this case, 18 times 17 times 16, 15, 14, and 13, okay? That's all that you're going to have because you're going to eliminate this with all the other values, okay? And you're going to have also here a times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 and times 1, okay? And also you can simplify some terms if you try to do it. For example, you can simplify this with this, and so many terms that you already have. Also, you can simplify 5 with 20, and you are going to find factors that you can eliminate. For example, if I divide 20 and 5, I'm going to have 4, and 5 and 5 is going to be 1. 4 and 4, I can eliminate this with this, okay? And in that way, you can continue doing that, eliminating some terms. But at the end, for example, also, you can divide this in 3, it's going to be 6, and this in 3 is going to be 1. I already eliminate some terms, and 6 and 6, put attention, I can eliminate these two, it's going to be 1 and 1. I have a, I have 7, I have 2, but also I can simplify with another example with 16, for example. It's going to be a, and that one is going to be 1, a and a is going to be 1 and 1, and you can continue doing that. But if you cannot do it, just need to multiply all the terms that you're going to have, and then just simplify. Because if you see, for example, in this case, I already finished, just I have that 7 and 14 that also I can simplify. Dividing 7 is going to be 1, and here is going to be 2, okay? But I have 19, I have 17, I have 15, I have 2, and I have 13, okay? If you multiply this, you are going to have, in this case, that the combinations that is going to be equal is going to be equal to, in this case, 125,000 and 907. And that's going to be your answer, okay? That's the total combinations that you can use for that amount of people that you are going to work, okay? I hope that is enough for you to understand the concept, the principal concept. You just need to learn the formulas and work on it, okay? God bless you guys.